For the most part, they are male body parts that are being engaged with in ways that, get engaged with as part of common sexual practices, but they're being used as insults. And interestingly, the way these male body parts are being engaged with are ways that stereotypically are seen as female forms of engagement with those male body parts, or queer forms of engagement with those male body parts.
This is a word. This is a world premiere. This is a word.
It seems to be occurring, for the most part, with our most visible vegan personalities. So it's the vegan celebrities who are engaging in this misogyny and in this queer bashing in a way that doesn't really confuse me, because I feel like it is perfectly in line with this dominant cultural mode of behavior. My theory is that when people move away from one type of exploitation, it is possible that they will move into another type of exploitation. And this has happened historically, specifically in the United States, as the nation was moving away from slavery. They needed a free labor force, and we saw from the beginning of the 20th century through the mid-20th century this movement of women into a free labor force, and we called them housewives. And so we've seen the exploitation of one group over time just transferred from one group to another. And I think this happens on a personal level as well. As people move into veganism and step away from the exploitation of non-human animals, we may see them beginning to practice exploitation on others. And one way this gets played out is through the way that we see, through their language specifically, but also through their behaviors. How are they excluding others from the moral community, from moral consideration? And this is evidenced by the way that behavior is defended. If the use of violent language is defended by others who say it's not a big deal, we can see that, okay, it's probably not a big deal because that person isn't worthy of that moral consideration, enough moral consideration to say, if this makes this person feel less valued in society, perhaps it's a behavior we should not be engaging in. In the YouTube community, at least amongst the vegans, we saw in the past few weeks how there are some who are held in high esteem as members of the moral community, whose reputations will be defended at all cost, even to the point where the animal rights advocacy movement came to a standstill amongst certain members of the YouTube community to take up the mantle of defenders of either of the individuals who were at the center of that drama a few weeks ago, right? So we understand that sometimes it's important to morally defend others. But there seem to be times when it isn't worthwhile to defend others. And this seems to happen when the individual is a person of color. This seems to happen when the individual is queer or a member of the LGBT+ community. It seems to happen when the individual is a woman or can be identified as female. In fact, it seems, based on the behavior of others in the vegan YouTube community, that we are holding our straight, white, male, vegan role models in very high esteem. At the expense of others. That's just a little food for thought. That's it for this video. Like it if you like it, share, comment, subscribe. This is Reg signing off. Love yourself. Peace.